Shepard, class of 1988, Lindsey Moriarty, class of 2003, and the 2005-2006 girls basketball teams. Now, when you hear Hall of Fame, your mind probably races to visions of championship trophies and long winning streaks. And yes, all of those awe-inspiring accomplishments open the door to this exclusive club. However, and I'm talking to our current students right here, I'd like you all to ponder a little deeper today. As you hear about the glory days of our remarkable inductees, take a moment to consider the secret sauce. The soft skills that propel these incredible folks to where they are today. Think about the everyday grind that you all are experiencing right now and ask yourselves, what set these individuals apart when they were my age? And I'll say that again, students. What set these individuals apart when they were your age? Skills like self-discipline, diligence, consistency, character, and an unrelenting drive. Those traits are the unsung heroes behind the highlight reels. John Wooden, the wise old sage of basketball, once said, "To win once requires talent. To repeat that winning takes character." So folks, remember that when you contemplate your own dreams and ambitions. On behalf of Stratford Academy, let's give a big shout out to our distinguished guests. We're not only proud of your athletic prowess, we're also mighty thankful for the character you've shown our school community. You all have set the bar very high. So without further ado, let's welcome our athletic director, Coach Gary Gill, who's going to introduce you to our inductees.
Good morning. I want to thank everyone for being here, for your inductees and your families. Congratulations. This is a very, very special day. I got a text from someone this morning that said basically days like today are examples of what makes Stratford so unique and so special. So thank you for letting me be a part of it. It's a little difficult because I'm in my second year here, so some of the inductees today I never saw play. Some of them I did see play. Some of them I played against. I hate to tell you, that tells you how old they are. Before we get started, I do want to thank a couple of people, and they're here today. Some are here today. I don't want to embarrass you, but Jeff Avant, where you at? Jeff Avant, I know you're here. Stand up. Jeff and Ray Smith were the founding members of the Hall of Fame in 2010, and Jeff's still part of the committee, and we still lean on Jeff for a lot of guidance, and he's always there for us. I want to thank Jeff Flournoy, who is here today, and our committee. And if you're part of that committee, and I know Jeff's here, please stand up today, because this committee is awesome. And finally, this does not come together very easily. I promised Terry Sowell I would not thank her, so I'm not going to thank her. But everything's gorgeous today. And Terry and some others were responsible for that, and they did a great job, but I'm not thanking them. All right, let's get on with the inductions. And there, believe it or not, I'm not going to tell you why, there is a little rhyme and reason in the order that we're going in. But the first one is Lindsey Moriarty. I feel like from talking to so many people that I actually did see her play, even though I didn't see her play. Lindsey was All-State in basketball and soccer in 2002 and 2003. In basketball, she is third in career games played with 125. She's second in steals in the season with 163. She's first in assists in the season with 235. And she's first overall in our record books in career assists with 579. In soccer, she has the fifth most career goals with 96. She has the sixth most career assists, the sixth most assists in a season, and fourth most career points with 244. After high school, she went on to play at Georgia Southern. And I can tell you this, Kate Blankenship told me she was the most vicious competitor that she ever saw, and that vicious is in a good way, I promise you. But then I was also told she was what you call unselfish. She did a lot of passing, as you can tell by the assists. But I was also told if she wanted to, she could be in the record books for the goals scored in both of them. But she did what was best for the team. Our first inductee, Miss Lindsey Moriarty.
Good morning. Let me first thank Mr. Field for a gracious introduction, and then I would like to sincerely thank everyone on the committee for your vote inducting me into the Hall of Fame. It's one of the most meaningful and personal honors I've received, and I'm grateful to be standing here in front of you today. It would be impossible for me to mention every person that influenced my athletic career and success, but I want to speak about two important mentors during my time here. Coach John Paul Gaddy, he was my basketball coach from 2000 to 2003, and Coach Grant Sarafi, he was my soccer coach from 1999 to 2003. I was a small, timid 8th grader. Now I know a lot of you are laughing at the word timid. It doesn't usually describe me, but I really was when I started my soccer career under Grant Sarafi. I would say Coach Grant Sarafi coached me out of my comfort zone, and it was exactly what I needed at the time. He always expected more out of his players, driving us to the highest standard of our athletic abilities until we became the very best players we could become. This led us to be nationally ranked on several occasions, reaching a national ranking of 17 in 2002. Grant would never let that go to our heads, though. We learned that victory could be celebrated, but it was not an excuse to not keep working hard. He was committed to the game, and he was committed to his players. I'm forever grateful for the values Grant instilled in me at such a young age that carried to this present day. I can't help but smile when I think of Coach Gaddy. Maybe it's because my favorite food is pizza, and everyone knows how Coach Gaddy felt about pizza. He pretty much invented a food group for Domino's. Coach Shepard brought an unmatched energy and humor to every practice. He led us to victory through love, patience, passion, and fun. I learned one of the biggest lessons from Coach Gaddy. Of course, nobody likes to lose, but sometimes I took losing a little too personal and considered it a failure. Coach Gaddy pulled me to the side and said that failures are a part of life, but they are not to be mistaken for the end. I don't believe there's anyone that loves Stratford as much as Coach Gaddy. He was an Eagle for life. As many of you know, Coach Gaddy lost his battle with cancer in 2014. He is deeply missed by all, and I will always remember Coach Gaddy for what he has done for me and the lessons that he provided me that extended the basketball court. Today I am honored to join both of these coaches in the Hall of Fame. I would not be standing here without the support of several other coaches, my teammates and friends that are too numerous to mention in this limited time. These individuals shared in making me the athlete I was. Many of these friendships continue today and have now gone full circle where we are watching our kids play together. I hope I will be able to watch my daughter play on the same field that I played on with one of my former teammates, Coach Kate. To my parents, thank you will never be enough for your sacrifices that you made for me. Mom, my big supporter, thank you for showing up always. You never missed a game, and I hope that you know how much that impacted me.
When I think about what I remember most during my athletic career, it's not the titles or the statistics, it's the relationships and the experiences. It's the sound of Coach Guy's voice making his best impression of Janae from Forrest Gump when he talked to Coach Reeves in practice, or his friendly daily banter back and forth with Coach Smith. It's the sound of bagpipes and the song Fly Like an Eagle by the Steve Miller Band. It's Saturday morning kick-arounds, making sure there's no street marks on any of the mirrors, and that the taped paper corners are all aligned perfectly. It's breakfast mornings with the team at the Lumleys, the Lidfords, the Cantrells, and the Tillers. It's the party bus to Milledgeville, playing charades, Lauren showing up late for practice again. It's firesides, scarves, and Eagle pride. It's the traditions. This place, Stratford County, is so special. You can see it by looking around the room, and you'll see the faculty that have been here for multiple generations, players that have come back and joined the coaching staff, and legacy families. I'm blessed to have had a past here and grateful to have the present and future for my daughter Ada. In closing, I wanted to share an excerpt from a reading to the student athletes that are here today. Excitement comes from the achievement, fulfillment comes from the journey. Winning the award is exciting. Fulfillment is looking back at the hard work put in. There's irony when we think about defining moments. We build up in our minds that accomplishment, that thing will be the ultimate. And when we get there, heck yeah, will it be exciting, but the podium does not change who we are. The real defining moments were the experiences that led up to those big achievements. The trials, the tribulations, the lessons learned, the early mornings, the late nights, the deep and unforgettable relationships we build through the blood, the sweat, and the tears. The dopamine comes when we win or achieve the goal, but the everlasting fulfillment comes from the journey. Thank you, Stratford, for this incredible journey.
We did let you go first so Ava could be here. That's why you went first. Our next inductee, he and I'm going to surprise you because he still looks like he's 35, but he and I go back to when we were 7 years old and playing at Pine Eagle together on the same team. We played with each other a lot of the time, we played against each other, and then we played against each other in high school, so I can personally testify to how good Eric Hefner was in athletics. Eric played football and baseball here at Stratford. He was a graduate of the class of '83. In football, he was a 4-time letter winner. He was All-Middle Georgia and All-State. At the time, he was the all-time reception leader, which now he's third, and he's now fourth in all-time reception yards. He held those records for over 20 years until his son Jonathan broke them in 2014. So I guess if they had to be broken, it's great that it was your son. In baseball, he was a 4-time letter winner. He was All-Middle Georgia, All-State. He was a class of 1983 president, and he later went on and played 1 year of football at Auburn. More so even after athletics, I kind of lost track of there. And when I came back to Stratford last year, he was one of the first people that I met. And I found out, not through him because he wouldn't say anything, but I found out just how much he's given back to Stratford. He served about every position possible on the Board of Trustees. In fact, he was the chairman at one time. He was a lead donor in athletics, arts, and academics. In 2017, he received the Stratford Alumni Service Award recipient. He was the voice of the Eagles for 12 years. He was a middle school baseball coach for 6 years. He was a youth football coach for 13 years. I'm trying to get him back out to do some more of that, but I don't know if he's going to do it. I don't know if his wife's going to let him do it. He's still at every football game. We played in Columbus the other night, and I looked up on the sidelines, and he was on the sidelines walking to Eric Hefner. I can't think of anyone that I know that gives back any more than he does. He truly loves Stratford, and I've told him before, that's something that has really touched me. It's not just him, but other people here, how much they love Stratford Academy, but nobody loves it more than Eric Hefner.
Good morning. I guess everybody's going to say that. We have a little battle cry that we do here with our coaches and our players. I know all the upper school and the middle school knows it, and I think probably the lower school do as well. When a coach or player says Eagle, what do you say back? That's right, you say pride. Now when I coached, or now as a parent and fan, that ritual was and is one of my favorite ways to get fired up before we play. And guess what? I'm about to play. So help me out here. Ready? Eagle! Sir. I want to thank the Hall of Fame Board, all the coaches, teachers, and administrators for this honor. I am truly humbled. I would also like to say a special thanks to my friends and family, my 4 children, and especially my wife. Without her, well, my children obviously wouldn't be here. And I probably wouldn't be standing here either today. They told me to speak between 5 and 30 minutes, so I'll try to keep that time frame. Stratford Academy has always been on the forefront of scholastics in Middle Georgia. There's no doubt in that for over 60 years, we've been the #1 academic school in our area. You may hear some other people saying they want a math competition or something at some point, but overall, there's no contest. Look, I have been behind the scenes. I've seen the test scores, I've seen the hope retention numbers, the college acceptances, how our students perform in general and college. We're #1. But today, I'm here to talk about athletics. Today is the Athletic Hall of Fame ceremony. This is our Hall of Fame award ceremony for academics. I can assure you I'll be watching rather than speaking. You see, we're also #1 in athletics. Year in and year out, we are. Are some years better than others? Sure. As an overall body of work, we are indeed the best. How does this happen? We surround ourselves with greatness. We surround our students with excellence, with state champions. You know we've got 199 state championships? Nobody else is even close. We had to quit hanging individual banners and just start listing the years because there wasn't enough room. And I'm talking to the students right now. Look around you and think about it. All the coaches that are state champions. Too many to name them all, but I can name a few because they're here. Ed Smith, state champion. Kate Blankenship, she's a state champion. We needed a new baseball coach. We bring in Danny Camp, state champion. We needed a football coach. We elevated Chance Jones. Jones family knows about state championships. Cater Pierce, Jimmy Reeves, state champions. Ian Jones, state champion. Jamie Kaplan, state champion 29 times. We brought in a new basketball coach. What does he do in his first year? Jarvis Smith wins the state championship. Our athletic director, Gary Gill, state champion. And let's not forget the people behind the scenes, the David Baileys, Ross Bridges, Shelley Wall, Miles Pittman, Terry Sowell. The coaches that are no longer here, Adams, Collins, Faribault, Grady Smith. You know who else has now got a state championship ring? Dr. Rachel Adams. We've got 199 championships. Question is, who's going to be number 200? Which team? Which of you is going to make that happen? Now, it's suggested I tell a few stories from my athletic days while at Stratford, and don't worry, I'm not really going to speak for 30 minutes. But I will tell just one. I'm standing here supposedly for accolades in football, baseball, and supporting the school, but oddly enough, it's a basketball story that I settled on. You see, I played basketball until I was in 10th grade. I want to tell you about our 8th grade boys basketball team. Statistically, we finished the regular season as the worst basketball team in the history of Stratford Academy. We were over, you said. I don't remember exactly how many games we played, but we lost them all. We lost them all badly. At the beginning of the season, at the coaches' meeting, they decided the schools will only play man-to-man defense during the regular season to hone our basketball skills and develop us as basketball players. But then we could use zone in the tournament if we wanted to. And we weren't terrible athletes, we just couldn't match up. Our coach was Bubba Adams. Yes, the same one the baseball complex is named for. You see, at Stratford, that's what our coaches do. They wear many hats, and the winningest baseball coach in school history was an 8th grade basketball coach for this season. Well, the week began between the end of the season and the tournament. Bubba put in some new zone defenses, the 2-1-2, the 2-3, and the 1-3-1. Some of you may not understand these. I think most of you probably do. Well, we learned on the fly and came to the first tournament games in conference. Our first game was against Genesco, a school that doesn't exist now, but has rivaled us both times we played. We broke out in our zone, we played hard and aggressively, some shots fell for us, and lo and behold, we won. We won our first game of the year in the tournament after being shut out the whole regular season. Next up, the Red Team. The FBD had beaten us by at least 20 points by the times we played them. And rumor had it that players wore black Scots to school that day because they were going to a funeral that night. Ours. Well, we gave everything we had. We frustrated them with zone defense and harassed them with full court pressure. And when the buzzer sounded, we won us another game. The worst basketball team in school history was now going to the championship against the Square. Tatnall Square. Yep. Tatnall was seeded #1, and they had something that was not commonplace back then. 2 players over 6 feet tall in 8th grade. You see it some today, but this was 45 years ago. And also, one of them had a mustache. I couldn't even grow hair underneath my arms, and I'm standing next to a guy a foot taller than me with a mustache. It's very intimidating. Well, the game got started, and we got after it. I had a couple of steals, made a couple of shots, and our whole team played like our hair was on fire. And at the end of the first quarter, it was Tatnall 10, Stratford 10. And I had scored all 10 points somehow. Bubba pulled us together in the huddle to give us instructions for when we went back out. He got to me and said, "Hefner, you're a point guard. Be a point guard. Distribute the ball and quit shooting." Well, I already scored 10 points in the first quarter. I was going to go 50, you know? But I went out 10, yes sir. Second quarter started, and sure enough, I intercepted a cross-court pass, took it the length of the court for a layup, only the ball never made it to the basket. It was swatted by a mustache man. And I mean, swatted. Another time a player picked up the ball, they went down and scored immediately. Timeout. Hefner, what did I tell you? The coach, what did I tell you? Run the offense. Okay, yes, sir. Well, 2 things happened that night after that timeout. One, Eric Hefner did not take another shot, nor score another point. And 2, that's right, baby. From the outhouse to the penthouse, from worst to first, from zeros to heroes. 1979 8th grade boys basketball team. That's what it's all about. Listen to your coaches. Stick to the game plan. Let's go get number 200. Eagle.
Our next inductee is Mr. Johnny Peterson from the class of '81. Johnny Johnny was a three-sport letter runner in football, basketball, and baseball. He is currently still second in assists in a game with 13 in basketball. He's 11th for the season assists with 116, and he's 20th in career assists with 176. In 1981, he received the Dr. John Paul Jones Best Senior Male Athlete Award. And since he has come back, like Eric, he has given so much to Stratford Academy. He's been the football youth commissioner for over 20 years. And if you know Johnny, which I know all of you do in here, you know he is kind of, let's say, aggressive. You need to come out there and watch him coach. To this day, the third and fourth graders and fifth and sixth graders, he still gets after it. It's fun to watch. He served 2 terms as Booster Club president. He's been the football statistician for over 10 years and still does that to this day. Friday night, he was in Columbus, keeping up with football stats on the sideline. He's been a middle school baseball coach for over 10 years, and he did it last year, and he better be doing it this year, else we're going to pull this award if he decides to get out. He was a founding member of the golf committee on the Stratford Booster Club. The press box is named, and baseball is named for his parents. He's given back his time, he's given back, his family's given back money. He has done so much. In 2015, he received the Stratford Alumni Service Award. And Johnny and I played against each other. And I know Johnny was, he was a year or two ahead of me. But we played basketball against each other a lot. And Johnny was really, really good at getting under your skin. He could get under your skin. And he harassed you. He was the kind of player that every coach now wants to have. But playing against him, sometimes you got a little agitated with him. But he knew how to do it. He knew how to do it. I feel like I have kept up with Johnny all my life because his mother and my mother were best friends. And if you know either one of our mothers or know them, anytime you got around them, you're going to get 30 questions. So my mother still lives with us, and I told Johnny's sister tonight, when I go home tonight, I'm going to get 30 questions about the Petersons. I can't answer any of them, but I'm going to get 30 questions. But it's an honor to sit here and present Mr. Johnny Peterson.
Lord help, I don't like, I am the oldest person standing up here. I can look around this and get recognized with these great big beer tonight. It is quite an honor. First and foremost, I want to thank Stratford and the Hall of Fame Committee for bestowing this honor upon me and these individuals and these teams being recognized today. Needless to say, I am truly humbled and honored to be here today. As most of you know, I am not a guy that seeks recognition. I really like to stand, off to the side. I don't want to be recognized for anything I've done. When I look at guys I play with, people I coach, it's not about me, it's about them. And that's something I've tried to live by my entire life, my entire career of playing and coaching sports. I want to thank my family that's here today. My wife, 34 years, yes, that's 34 years, that's Herschel Walker, you Georgia fans. Class of 1985. My son Jack, class of 2016. My daughter Ellie, who's unable to be here today, 2018. My sisters, Susan, class of 76. Nancy, class of 78. Julie, class of 93. My family is Stratford. Stratford has a special place in our heart. There are 2 very special people I know are looking down from heaven. I think Terry Siles spoke to my sisters earlier this week, and there's a smile on their both their faces. Because this place meant the world to all of them. athletics at Stratford to me, were a very, very special part of my life. Many of them was raised on this campus and now other schools around this area. There was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears on every field, every court. Today, I'm better for having waged those battles and been in those battles with my teammates and my coaches who never gave up on me and never gave up on us. My wife told me I needed to kind of break the ice and maybe go tell a story about, I have too many stories. Like I said, we're short on time here. I don't need to tell a bunch of stories, so I thought I'd go in 2 areas. I always had a funny joke I wanted to tell it. But it had anything to do with the Sports Hall of Fame, but it had anything to do with Stratford. But my good friend Mel Jameson, retired banker. Y'all can believe that, he's a retired banker. Mel Jameson, daughter of the 10th grade, retired banker. Peach County, he walked into a sports bar one night around 10 o'clock. He sat down next to this blonde in the bar, stared up at the TV as the 10 o'clock news came on. The news crew was covering the story of a man on the ledge of a large building preparing to jump out. The blonde looked at Mel and said, "You think he'll jump?" Mel said, "You know what? I bet he will." The blonde replied, "Well, I bet he won't." "Well, you guys know, Mel Jameson doesn't give up a dollar very easy." Mel placed $50 on the bar and said, "You're on." Just as the blonde placed her money on the bar, the guy did a swan hop off the building, followed to a tragic end. Gosh, the blonde was so upset, handed Mel the $50, said, "Fair's fair, here's your money." Mel replied, "No, I can't take your money. I saw this earlier on the 5 o'clock news and I knew he'd jump." The blonde replied, "I did too, but I didn't think he'd do it again." Mel still took the money. At Stratford, I experienced the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, but competing on these fields and court, never did I have a team that didn't do one thing, and that's compete. They always competed. There were many coaches who played a large role, and I'm here to say thank you to a lot of them as well. 2 in particular who, I don't know if they're here tonight, I haven't seen them today. Grady Smith was my coach. I would go into any battle with Grady Smith, I would run through a wall for Grady Smith. But today, more importantly, Grady Smith is my friend. Darryl Jones. Those of you who know Darryl Jones, maybe that's where some of my intensity came from. But Darryl Jones was my football coach for 3 years, 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. He put a 9th grader out there as a starting quarterback, and he knew I was nervous. But he looked at me and he said, "You're ready for the moment, go do it." You know, I'll always remember that. That guy had confidence in me to start in the 9th grade on the football team with seniors who were 3 years ahead of me, but he believed in me. And that's what every coach at Stratford has always done with their athletes. They believe in their athletes, and they support their athletes, and they will go into battle with you day in, day out. When I graduated from the University of Georgia in 1985, the first thing that crossed my mind was how could I give back in some way to help others. I told my wife, "Honey, I'm going to start coaching baseball and football." If you know my wife, Jean, she has been the most supportive person I've ever asked for. Here I am, 36 years later, and she still lets me do it. She knows I love it, and having coached at all levels, you know, the ultimate goal was, how can I help these kids get better from day one? Every team I coach, some of you that are up in the stands right now, I've coached you, I've coached your dads, and I'm not sure what that says to me, other than I am getting old. But the one thing I try to do is, I want you to be better when we finish. And there's never a team that I have not coached that person in that team is not better when we finish. As I look out amongst this crowd, the student body today, many of you I've played with, played against, coached you, coached with you, coached against you, and more importantly, all of you are what I treasure most. You're a friend. Students, there are 3 values I want to convey to you. I call them my 3 C's, something I always try to live by, and a lot of it was developed when I came to Stratford and graduated from Stratford, and they've been back here for many years. There are 3 C's. Class. Always remember who who you represent and compete and play the best of your ability with the utmost class. Character. Character can define a person. It is often taught, is often not taught, but learned, and as an athlete, you must play with it every time you step on the field. Commitment. Commitment to play to the best of your ability for yourself and for your team. Maintain that Stratford standard of commitment to excellence. In closing, athletics is the embodiment of this school and its spirit, and will always be. Athletics will always carry this school. I can't emphasize that enough. Yes, we're the preeminent academic institution out there, but athletics is the backbone of this school. Every sport contributes. My good friend, Mark Pharr once told me, tomorrow will be a new day. The sun will come up, but assuredly life will always bring you a new set of challenges. How you react can define you. Thanks to all of you who have helped make me who I am, each and every one of you. As for my Eagle football team tonight, yes, I'll be out there with you. You know I will. And you know how much I support you. Play hard. Let's do that saying as I tell each and every one of my team. GATA tonight. Thank you.
Class of 1988, Mr. Jerry Shepard. Jerry played football, basketball, and baseball. He was All-State in football for 2 years. He currently is seventh in the record books for the most part passing yards in a season with 1,906. He's seventh in passing attempts in the season with 148. He's eighth in the single season passing completions with 74. And he's 12th with the most passing yards in the season with 969. He played baseball. He was 3-time All-State in All-Middle Georgia. He was on 3 state championships, and he finished with a career batting average of .387. I did not get a chance to see Jerry play in high school because at that time I was playing at Mercer, and I was playing with one of his brothers, Ray Shepard. And if you know the Shepard name in Macon, Shepard name is synonymous with baseball excellence. In fact, Bloomfield Little League used to be named for their father. At the same time we were playing at Mercer, when Jerry was here at Stratford, he had another brother. We were in the same conference together. He was at Georgia Southern, and he was Georgia Southern's best player, named Mike Shepard. So Shepards were all over the place, baseball-wise. And very, very, like I said, synonymous with baseball excellence. I did get a chance after high school to see Jerry play in college. Jerry went he went first to Georgia Southern, then he went to Middle Georgia Junior College. And we're going to have some new baseball players up there probably going Middle Georgia Junior College. But let me tell you something, 30 years ago, Middle Georgia Junior College was the mecca for outstanding baseball players. I can't tell you how many players played in the major leagues from Middle Georgia. Year in, year out, they were competing for a national championship. Well, I got to see him play because Jay Cranford, who's here today, another Stratford Hall of Famer, was on that team, and my younger brother was on that team. They go out to Colorado. Long story short, they finished second. They were in the winner's bracket and got beat twice, but they finished second. But Jerry put on a show out there like I've never seen before. He is still tied for the most home runs at the College World Series with 6. 2 guys are tied him, 30 years later, but he's still number 1. Fast forward, he goes to South Carolina. The next year, I'm at the Superdome because my brother's at Auburn, so I'm watching the SEC tournament at the Superdome. I stay around and watch South Carolina play. First at bat, home run, down at the Superdome. Some things never change. He was always, by the way, he was, even though they did not win the Junior College World Series, he was still voted the most valuable player of the World Series. He went to South Carolina. He was all SEC. His career records in 2 years at South Carolina, he had 29 doubles, 31 home runs, 104 RBIs, and a batting average of .365. I present to you Mr. Jerry Shepard.
So Lindsey brings up a folder. Hefner brings up a binder. And I've got chicken scratch on a white piece of paper, so I'm in trouble from the get started. I'm extremely humbled and honored for this moment. I want to thank Stratford, the Hall of Fame Committee, BB, Jake Granford. I'll never forget that phone call, man. It's pretty cool. Ronnie Goldman, who nominated me, coaches, teammates. I saw Coach Chandler earlier tonight or today. I hadn't seen him in 30 years. The man looks exactly the same. I'm gray haired and fat, and he's looks like he can go run 5 miles around the gym like he used to. Coach Boniface, all these coaches, Bubber, all these coaches were influential in my life, more than I realized at the time. My family, Mom and John, thank you for being here. Chris and Betsy, Kay and Patrick. My wife, 17 years, I don't know how you put up with me, but thank you. I love you. My boys, my oldest is not here today. He's at Georgia Southern, going to be a teacher, impacting all you guys in the stands. Hopefully your kids, they'll influence the same way my coaches influenced me. Michael, JP, and Will, I love you boys. So, everyone's talking about Stratford and the legacy. I'm the only out of my family to be in Stratford. My brother was here for a little bit. I'm the only one that graduated in '88. And Stratford means, I would say, more to me than most because it changed my life. I was a country boy from Mizella, and my eyes got opened to the world being a lot bigger than Mizella or Macon or even Georgia when I walked through the front doors of this school. It's where this journey started. So when I look back at athletics, everyone's talking about how important they are. For me, it was a way out. It was, I remember youth sports. We'd play rec baseball, and we would go to All-Stars. I mean, that was my summer vacation. I figured out quickly, the more we won and the longer we won, we got to go stay in hotels. And we had to play baseball in July and August. So that was teammates and coaches. I mean, 11, 12 years old, staying in a hotel with their teammates. That was the top of the mountain at the time. I came here and continued. The big world was opened up to me. It allowed me to go to college, get a degree, and end up where I am today. Speaking of today, everything I accomplished with the help of all my teammates and all my coaches and all the fans in the stands doesn't even compare, pales in comparison to what I get to witness today with my boys. Watching them achieve things and do things that they had no idea they could do. Incredible. It's just incredible. Now, I'm going to try to get us back on schedule because I was told 3 minutes. And clearly that rule wasn't followed by the first 3 speakers. So I'm going to get into the story. So when Stratford announced the inductee class, there was a picture, and I think it's the same picture that's in the frame behind me. And I was showing it to my boys, and my 11-year-old, JP, he said, "Dad, who's that?" I said, well, that's me. He said, you were skinny and you had black hair. I said, yeah. So, JP, I'm really glad that skinny black-haired guy got this fat gray-haired guy in front of this podium today as a member of the Stratford Hall of Fame. I'm very grateful and very appreciative. Thank you guys very much.
Finally, today, we have the girls' basketball teams from 2005 and 2006. But before I introduce them, I want to introduce two people. If you would, just stand up. Claire Raymond Stores and her mother, Jenny Raymond. The reason y'all are standing up, this is only the second girls' basketball class that has gone in. The first one was in 76, 77, and 78. Mother and daughter are on both, not both teams, they each were on one team. But that's kind of unique. There's a reason why y'all are going last, and I'll tell you in just a second. You probably already know. But as we were talking about this in committee, and Ed and I were later talking, these stats y'all put up these 2 years are unbelievable. 58-0. Their average margin of victory was 27 points. In 2005, they had 4 All-State players. In 2006, they had 5 All-State players. So we probably only have about 12 girls on an All-State team, I'm guessing. So 33 and almost 50% of those 2 years came from Stratford. I'm not going to steal any thunder from Ed, but I will say this. Ed will never say who his best team is. And I understand that. He did say these teams played harder than any team he ever had. I look forward to hearing about you. I look forward to listening to Ed, because this is amazing. I can't even imagine. It probably got boring to come to the game because you were winning by so much. The reason that you are going late, I'm going to call you up here now along with Coach Wall and Coach Stones and Ed. But about 2 hours ago, Ed and Tara became grandparents for the first time. That shows his dedication. Tara's still out there, but that shows his dedication. He wanted to be here today. So if you all would come up now, the 2005-2006 girls basketball team.
I'd like to start by congratulating Johnny, Jerry, Harry, Lindsey. I couldn't imagine a better class for this group to go with. First of all, how do you have an undefeated season? It's not a trick question. Win all your games. It's not really that simple. Being undefeated is a product of a process. Unless you embrace the process, you will never experience the product. Coaches always used to ask me, how do you get the girls to play so hard? And I'll always tell them, they had no choice. I used to believe that, but over the years I realized I was wrong. You do have a choice. As a student athlete or whatever you do, excellence is your choice. This group chose to come to this gym every day, believe in the process, outwork everyone else in the state to achieve their goal. In 2004, Coach Wall and I, we came on board and we inherited a very inexperienced team. I think we had one girl back that had any varsity experience whatsoever. So starting in 2003, May of 2003, every day is capitalized. Every day of the season was a grind. But at the end of 2004, we looked up. We were 21-9, region runner-up, and in state finally. We got defeated by the state championship team. So we said, hey, we might not be so bad. But that was the spring for 05 and 06. And during both seasons, Stratford and George Walton blew through the regular season, region tournament, and the first 3 rounds of the state tournament. Both teams entered the state championship game undefeated. In the 2005 game, we played as close to perfect as any team could have in the first half. We led by 16 at the half and won by 20 going away. In 06, George Walton was returning their entire team, and we had only graduated 1 player. As both teams entered undefeated for the second year in a row, we found ourselves behind by 1 entering the fourth quarter. Sticking to the process, which was absolutely, when we walked in the gym, they started pressing at that end of the court, and they did not let you go from this end until 32 minutes were up. That's how hard they play every single day. But sticking with the process, they outscored George Walton 19-8 in the fourth quarter and win by 10. But tell you about this team, the second year, our leading scorers, remember we graduated 1 girl. The leading scorers the second year was the girl that replaced the senior the year before, and the little freshman off the bench came in and they both scored 10 apiece, while 2 other girls had 9. That's how we played. They shared the wealth. They were unselfish. Tell you a little bit about them. These are some of their stats. Individuals in games played, 4 of the top 10 in school history are here. Steals, 3 of the top 10 in school history are here. Assists, 2 of the top 10 in school history are on this team. The six-year record from when we started this team to when the last one up here graduated, they were 153-25. Take away the first year when we struggled, 21-9, they were 132-16, 2 state championships. We don't like to bring this up, but after the 2 state championships, they were actually runner-up the next 2 years. So it was almost 4 in a row. So 2 state championships, 2 runners-up, and 1 Final Four. Like Coach said, out of the 30 spots in 2 years for all state players, we had 9 of them. Coaches get up to those meetings and say, my point guard averages 16 points, 8, my post guard averages 19 points, 8 rebounds. I can get up and say we had nobody, think about this, nobody averaged 10 points or more. So I got to stand up and say, well, 158 in a row. All 5 of them made all state team. The 05 team had 501 assists. It's only happened 4 other times in the 50 plus years we played basketball here. The 05 and 06 team had over 500 steals. It's only happened 4 other times in 50 years in school. So what does that tell you about them? They took it away from them, and they passed it to each other. It's a team. It's a great team. Up here, not only do we have basketball players, we have soccer players, we have track athletes, and softball players. Overall, they won. They were part of, or someone on this team was part of 9 state championships. And had 25 all-state recipients in this group in the years they participated. But they don't know. That got them elected to the Hall of Fame. The committee did a great job. That's not why they won the Hall of Fame to me. They don't even know the score. No, we're not talking about that.
At the end of your season, when we won championships, we would do highlight videos. And if highlights, it's, you know, it's what this says, it's highlights. It's none of the bad stuff we did. We did bad stuff too. But every few years, I would go back and watch just to see what made them different. Why were they so different? So I'd watch video, maybe something that they did we could do with our other teams. And about 10, 12 years ago, I saw it. In the video I was watching, we were playing the Final Four game against John Miller's Academy. Now, when you're in the Final Four, everybody's good. Everybody's supposed to be good, right? So, everyone knew that George Walker were probably on a collision course again. So we're playing against John Miller's in Millersville. Girl from John Miller's passes the ball, makes sure it passes it right up the court. And they have a girl under the basket that's wide open. They know that girl's wide open, better not catch this ball now. They know that. So the girl from John Mill sees it, she throws it, and somebody's supposed to at least knock the ball out of bounds. Two of them ran into each other and knocked it out of bounds. That was a great hustle play, right? Sure it was. That was just happening. Those balls happened. You know, other team gets the ball, no one to fight. And I looked at it, I kept watching. This is why they're in the Hall of Fame. In the corner, you see a scoreboard. Fourth quarter, they forced a championship game. We're ahead 53-15. They played their butts off when they didn't have to. They did it when they didn't have to. That's why they're great to me. That's why they're Hall of Famers. Thank y'all very much.
Again, I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee. You guys did an unbelievable job this year. Thank you so much. For your inductees and your families, again, congratulations. It's a great day. It's going to continue tonight. We do encourage you to stick around. Talk to people you haven't seen in years. We got nothing but time here in this gym. I do have one group that can't stick around, though. Students, I want to tell you, you've been awesome. Been awesome.
Before you go, we want to, got called up a little bit. We want to introduce them, and they're going to be introduced by their maiden names. Sorry. Yeah. Unfortunately, we did have several that could not attend today that are out of town. Angela Hicks, who's not with us today. Adama Keldo. Betsy Jones. Oh, and hopefully she'll be here tonight, but Kristen Stevens, who could not be with us tonight. Hopefully she'll be here tonight. Virginia Hershey. Sarah Ann Monaco. Sarah Laker. Rachel Acker. Sweet Lynn Lawrence Miller. Mallory Long. Margie Lee. Mary Parker Davis. Sarah Woodball. And Annabelle Strong.
All right, as we adjourn, we need all the recipients, all the inductees to come up here for some photos. Students, like I said, thank you so much. Let's get ready for another picture tonight, but y'all get to go back to class. Thank you, everybody.